Do you have to press this or?
I don't think so. I think there's someone controlling it.
Okay.
They're all on.
Everyone can hear us?
Yeah, very fantastic.
Okay, well,
There's a lot to be happy
welcome
about.
everyone
There's no doubt
to Destination Q. And very pleased to announce that next year will be the year of accessible tourism. This is wonderful to see so many people from across Queensland here for this showcase event. Over 900 people will be here over the next couple of days, culminating on Friday night with the state's Tourism Awards. I'm joined here with the Minister. We'll say a few words briefly, but this morning we had a fantastic investor forum as well. So much opportunity, so much interest in investing in Queensland. We've got a good rate of economic growth here. The climate is right for investment coming out of COVID, and the future looks absolutely bright. As we head towards the Olympic and Paralympic Games, we expect the tourism industry will be worth more than $44 billion to Queensland. At the moment, it's around $19 billion, so over the next 10 years, we are going to see a huge growth. So we have a great opportunity to get ready. And part of that announcement today about the year of accessible tourism is about getting ready as well. Already about $8 billion is spent from people with a disability coming into our state, but we want to drive that tourism market up even higher. So we're doing a call out to the different regions to make sure that when they're doing design, whether it's at the council level, investor level, or community level, that we are thinking about accessibility. And we are recognising the abilities that all people have to come here and enjoy what our state has to offer. I'll hand over to the Minister to say a few more words, especially about our Towards Tourism 2032, another landmark plan, of course, setting Queensland up for a very bright and inclusive tourism future.
Thank you, Premier. It is great to be here at Destination Q, and particularly as we launch towards Tourism 2032, our vision and plan as a government in partnership with industry to see our visitor economy grow. That ambitious target of $44 billion is an ambitious one, but it's one that's realistic on the basis of seeing the growth that we are capable of, the growth that our industry has seen, particularly the way we've bounced back from the impacts of the pandemic. And while we know that international tourism hasn't bounced back as strongly yet as domestic tourism, we know that we can see that on the horizon. We know that we can see that through some of the things that we've already achieved, through responses to the independent expert panel's recommendations to us, through the Action Plan for Tourism Recovery, things that we've already delivered like the Aviation Attraction Investment Fund, that $200 million package of co-commitment with the 4 international airports here in Queensland, between them and the Palaszczuk government, to support the new routes, the re-established routes and the new routes that will make a difference to our international tourism recovery. Now, across the whole of the plan and the response to those 75 recommendations that were made by the expert panel, we've seen some more than 60% of them that we've agreed with and are seeking to implement. There's others that, as I've mentioned, have already been implemented as a result of the early report that they made, the interim report that that group made. But then there are others that we will continue to have conversations with industry about, and there are others still that we've made clear that aren't government policy. They don't align with our government's policy. Our commitment to there being no new taxes means that we won't see a tourism levy supported by the Queensland government. There are other avenues and mechanisms for those sorts of supports to be raised through through local government. So we encourage industry to continue to work with local government and work with the state on how we continue to grow our wonderful tourism industry. But one of the ways in which we can certainly grow our share of being the most desirable destination, which we are more generally across the country, but the way in which we can grow that is by making sure we grow particular sectors of the market. And a year of accessible tourism is a great way in which we can grow our share of the accessibility market. There is no question that the demand that there is across the globe for people living with a disability to be able to travel as comfortably and happily as any other traveller is very important, and we want to make sure that we deliver a set of products and a whole of a Queensland industry that is accessible and celebrates that accessibility and promotes it globally. That's why our $12 million commitment to the Year of Accessible Tourism is nation leading. It's nation leading in being the first state to have a year of accessible tourism, but it's nation leading in terms of the funding that we're providing to support products to adapt and respond to that demand, but also to help educate the whole of industry on how to deliver on what they're already doing and tell and sell that story better. And it's an exciting opportunity to launch that here at Destination Q, where we are celebrating how important it is to make sure that Queensland's tourism industry is an accessible tourism industry. So I might
Head
Hand over to Brett to say some comments.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you. Look, as you can see, as you can hear, it's an exciting week here on the Gold Coast for Tourism Week. We had great conversations yesterday around Indigenous tourism. The conversations that we're hearing today around the broader tourism market are really exciting. Industry is here in force. We've got almost 1,000 industry represented here this week to be part of that conversation. And tomorrow night we celebrate the best of tourism. We celebrate those businesses who have done it so tough over the last couple of years and the great work that they do and the contributions they make to the Queensland economy. So it's a really exciting time to be here on the Gold Coast and very exciting today, obviously, to see the release of the Year of Accessible Tourism. We saw the great impacts that the Year of Indigenous Tourism made to the Queensland industry and also the Year of Outback Tourism previous to that. So these plans and these strategies really make a big difference. It's about tangible actions that we can make as industry to drive the economy, to drive the tourism industry. And for me, the Year of Accessible Tourism, it is not just a good thing for the tourism industry and the economy, it's a good social outcome as well. So from the industry support, we are all excited to get behind this and be part of the delivery in partnership with the government.
Thank you. Zach?
Hello everyone, I'm Zach. I'm a principal consultant at Get Skilled Access, and if I'm being perfectly honest, this is my Christmas. We knew nothing about this, we weren't briefed about this. We found out this morning in the announcement that that next year is the year for accessible tourism, and the reason why it's really hit me for six is the fact that when we started GSA 7 years ago, accessibility was seen as maybe an OH&S or we'll get around to it. To see a government and a state dedicate a year to accessibility is so impactful. For not only what you're going to do, but you're already showing as a cultural symbol that you're accessible and inclusive and welcoming for people with disability, not just the people that live in your state, people that live in Australia, and then the billion people around the world living with a disability. This is such a huge opportunity for not only your state, but for our country, but to also show the world what accessible tourism can do, what it means for both operators from a business perspective, but what it means for people with disability to come see this beautiful state. And then also the employment side of things, which we haven't even touched on. I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm just so grateful, humble, honoured, all of them, to hear that announcement, and so excited to get to work on delivering these things. So, thank you.
Thanks, Zach. We'll go to Hayley and then Nick.
Sure.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Hayley Brown. I'm the CEO and founder of Vacate, and we are absolutely stoked with this announcement today. Vacate is an audio storytelling platform for blind and low vision tourists so they can travel independently with informed decisions. And funding and recognition like this is so essential for not only innovation, but also for holding the destinations and operators responsible and hold them accountable for their commitment in making the tourism industry more accessible. So something like this is great because it means that we can provide the information for not only what we have to offer, but also what we don't have. And so this is highlighting, if you don't have that access information, then we can put that on there as well, and it's just as important. So, yeah, thank you. This is awesome. It's such great news, and I just found out as well. So, incredible. And pass over to Nick.
Thank you. I think one of the big messages for me is that 4 years ago we had the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. And that was a fully accessible Games. And what we can do now is build on that success. Victoria's got the Commonwealth Games in 26, but in 10 years' time, 6,000 Paralympians, 10,000 technical officials, probably about 1.4 million tickets will be sold. And I can promise you the day the Games finish is the day tourism picks up. And it's commercially in our interest to make sure things are accessible, because we bring money and we bring patronage, and all you need to do is just ask us if we need a hand. Simple things like that. Grab a wheelchair and wheel around your business and see what it's like to actually use your business from a wheelchair. So, great announcement, congratulations, and the hard work starts.
Thanks, Nick, thank you. Okay, we're happy to take some questions on this first. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so the Minister has been having conversations with the industry, but also with myself. So we made the announcement, and we're very happy that today at this forum we're able to say it. It goes for a year, yeah. It's been months.
It's one of the recommendations.
Yeah, out of the report, yeah. Yes. I think today's a great day to make this announcement.
So of the $12 million, there's $10 million that's set aside for a accessibility development fund, so to ensure that Queensland businesses, that their products, that their experiences can be improved in order to make them more accessible. And that'll be a contestable fund, but one that will leverage more investment, like we do in so many other tourism experience improvement funds, development funds. Will leverage further investment from the private sector as well to make sure that we see that go further than the $10 million might represent. But then there's also further funding at 2 buckets of $1 million each to helping promote the year of accessible tourism within industry and beyond, and to help support the capability of the sector to deliver on that. Well, certainly we know that universal design is a feature of building code planning going forward. And as we see products being refreshed and redeveloped over time, we'll see a lot more of universal design principles delivering on accessibility across the board on the whole of our economy. And the tourism industry, with further investment, with accelerated investment in the lead up to 2032, we'll certainly see that probably more accelerated than other parts of the economy. But there's no question that it's important that we want to work with industry to help make sure that there's a garnered and improved understanding. And one of the points that Nick was making earlier was about how so much of industry is already in a place where they are accessible. They just don't have the tools to celebrate and explain it and tell that story. Our year of accessible tourism is about helping industry celebrate what they're already delivering.
Oh, we'll definitely be able to meet demand. I mean, there is so much investment happening, and we're seeing more and more product. You only have to look at the length from Main Beach all the way down to Coolangatta to see the massive investment that's happening in the Gold Coast alone. Coupled with investment on the Sunshine Coast, the Maroochydore City Centre that we were able to see with the board members just recently, as well as the investment in Queensland. In Brisbane, we will definitely have more than enough capacity.
Sure. one word is seamless, because all it takes is getting to an aircraft and there not being an aisle chair and your journey stops, or that there's an undercover area to get into a car. So pre-planning and making sure that the journey is completely seamless, from transport to hotel to tourism to all those things, they need to be seamless, because, I mean, I use a wheelchair and I have similar requirements to a mum or a dad with strollers as well. And that's what we're talking about with universal design.
Yeah.
If you get it right, you get it right for a lot of people. And the point I'd make is that a lot of times if you've done accessibility really well, it doesn't stand out. It just is there. And it's really easy to do once you know what you're doing. And Queensland's already doing a lot of great stuff. So it's really putting those things up on a pedestal and being able to use them as examples. And we were talking before about the standards. Every new construction from here on in will comply to the National Construction Code, the Australian standards, to raise that level. And that's what we're building. So we've got 10 years to make sure that all our new infrastructure is built well, but then people like Zach can come along and train staff and write policy and all those things, so people have got confidence in the delivery of their service. I would have put 100 million on it, but no, 10 million's a great start. You know, it's about engaging and getting people ownership of it so that we start the ball rolling. Once the Olympic and Paralympic Games get a bit more momentum, it'll feed itself. And that's one of the beauties of it, is there's already knowledge out there, and it just needs to grow, and people who are doing bits and pieces become the role models, and we train staff and we feel confident with what we've got. And I'll leave you with one last thought. It is no problem if you tell us what you don't have, because that's knowledge.
Yep.
I can then make a decision as to whether that accommodates me or not, and that's what's really important as well.
Access to the choice. Yeah, sure. So the Minister and I might stay, and everyone else can disappear. Yeah. Is that all right?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, well, in our new construction that we build, of course, there's the standards that we have to meet. But I think where the beauty of this announcement is, it's not just the buildings, it's your cafes, it's your restaurants, it's your tourism activities, it's across the spectrum. So we really want to get the best out of people for the year of accessible tourism. It's very exciting. Yes. Yeah, I'm advised that it's going to take about 3 weeks to fix, but at the moment we have ample supply, but I'll be getting a further update from the Minister on Monday at Cabinet. I'm told it's at this stage, it's only a short time that it's out, for 3 weeks. We'll get a further update on Monday. We will update the public. Yeah, and Queensland is probably the only state, because we own our power assets, that's able to provide a dividend back to the public. So we've got a $175 rebate already going out. I don't know of any other state or territory that's able to do that. I don't think in the short term. That's right. Yes. Definitely not. We are leading the nation, and there is global interest now with our energy and jobs plan that we have released. It's very exciting, and the 70% renewable energy target by 2032 is complements everything we're saying today about sustainability, the Olympics and tourism. It all comes together. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Very important question. And we want to know if anyone has any information whatsoever leading to information about the tragic death of Toya in far north Queensland. If anyone has any information, please contact police. There is $1 million on the table here. We want to get an answer, and I commend the police for putting forward this reward. And I understand the Commissioner and Minister Ryan spoke about this earlier today. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, there was a vigil held last night for young Perth. The question was, did you know about it? And if so, was your intent to attend?
It's a tragedy what happened in Western Australia. Our hearts go out to the young boy's family. To my knowledge, there was no invitation received in my office. It's a matter now before the Western Australia Police, and it would be inappropriate for me to comment any further. Okay, thank you.